Of cryptocurrency continues to grow. Bitcoin is being accepted more and more all the time. Hi, I'm Terry Brock, and welcome to Agorapreneurs, where we talk about the live and let live philosophy of living your life as you want voluntarily, not initiating force or coercion against others, living peacefully and having a great time. And to join me in talking about that, I have my a partner and a person who is in charge of much that we do here, Gina Carr, who's joining us now. Gina, thank you very much for being with us today.
Well, thanks so much, Terry. Delighted to talk about one of my favorite topics.
Yes, indeed. Well, you were showing me something that we saw just recently came out that our governor here in Florida, Ron de Santis, has now made an announcement that government agencies, he's proposing this, it's not official yet, but proposing that they will be able to accept the fees that government charges and the taxes that government collects in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. And so that would be legal to do that in the state of Florida, which sounds pretty amazing. What are your thoughts on that, Gina?
Yeah, I think he's really stepping up to the plate, recognizing the future that is here, and that is that people are having less faith in fiat currencies and more faith in cryptocurrencies because of the extensive track record of success that they've had, and because Wall Street has embraced cryptocurrencies and is doing a major work with cryptocurrencies and showing the world that this is not just some people playing games here. It's not just something for bad actors. It's real legitimate currency. It has the features and characteristics of real money, which a lot of people say, does it really? And yes, it does. We may go into that a little bit today, but I think mainly we're going to take a look at this video that we saw from one of our favorite folks, Pompliano, and he's talking about DeSantis's decision to tell his government people to work with crypto, to figure out how to take crypto, how to take payment in crypto, and how to move Florida into the future. So we're going to watch a little bit of that video and talk about it as we go. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think it'll be good to think about that. You step back and you go, hey, crypto and Bitcoin particularly were looked at and derided as just for dirty money, so to speak, or drugs or terrible things that are going on. But you think about it, wait a minute, the number one currency that's used for drugs worldwide is the US dollar. So cash money. But when you use Bitcoin, that's not a smart thing for people to use that want to be completely secret because it can be found out what you're doing. So, which means it's a little different. Everyone is tracked by what every transaction happens on there. Every transaction is tracked with the blockchain. And that means you can be anonymous, but it's not completely private. They can find out through tools like chain analysis and others. But by bringing it out into the open and saying, hey, legitimately, we're going to use this legally, do what is legal, and the governor making it legal makes a big difference. So I want to hear what Anthony Pompliano, we could call him Pomp, is doing. He's got a great podcast that you might want to look into. Pomp does that regularly and really cutting edge ideas. I've subscribed to his newsletter and also listen to the podcast. Find it really good. So, Gina, you've got a clip there. We want to play a little bit of that and we can comment on it as well. Why don't you bring that up on the screen? Matter of fact, we're using Restream now, which is a fabulous tool for reaching out, doing some new things here that we have not done before to figure out how we can get that message out there. So go ahead and bring up the screen that you had with the video there, and then we can see that on the screen right now. There it is. Okay, coming up on the screen. Let's go into that, and I'll put that on the screen and then let you go ahead and play that for us.
News brewing in the southern part of the United States. The governor of Florida is confirming that the state is working on a plan to allow businesses to pay taxes, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrencies. Now, this is a huge deal because what it is signaling is that the state of Florida believes that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies not only serve as a store of value, but also as a medium of exchange, one that they would be willing to accept for people to pay those state taxes. Now, I personally don't think that a ton of people are going to go spend their Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other cryptocurrency. What they are likely to do, though, is pay in stablecoins that are on just much better payment rails than anything in the legacy financial system. We've got a quote here from Governor de Santis.
Okay, let's pause it just a little bit. And what are your thoughts on what he said so far, Terry?
I think he's got some good points there that we'll probably be paying in stable coins. Now, these are crypto coins that are pegged to the US dollar so that you're able to get more of that with the US dollar and make sure that it's legal and all that. And many people are going to take their Bitcoin and Ethereum, and really what they're doing is like you and I are doing. We're playing the HODL game, HODL, hold on for dear life. So, in other words, we're getting the Bitcoin, we're not spending it, not going to get rid of that right now. Now, we're not making any financial advice here at all. What we're doing is just our opinion, but we encourage you to do your own research. Look into what's there. Get a competent financial advisor who can help you on these things before you do anything like that. But I think it shows a whole step forward when they say, hey, we will accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in the state of Florida. This is what the governor is proposing so that it can be accepted. I think that's a real step forward and a major thing. What are your thoughts, Gina?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, this is a big state, a progressive state. We've led the nation in many areas, no state income tax, as well as a lot of the COVID protocols that were instituted. And so we love it here. We're proud to live here. And it's not a political thing. It's not a Republican Democrat thing. You and I are both libertarians with a small L. So we agree with it, Democrats and Republicans on most everything, right? At least half the issues we're going to say, yeah.
At least half, we find with the whole idea of live and let live is the idea that you do anything you want to do with emphasis on anything as long as you do not harm another, you don't hurt others, you don't take their stuff. This is the principle. And we believe that extends to finances, that extends to your social life, that extends to everything you're doing. Live and let live. And so if someone says, hey, I want to pay in Bitcoin, that's their business as long as the other party will also accept that. So that's fine. If I say, hey, I want to pay my bills in Japanese yen, if people here in the United States say, okay, we'll take that, then that's good. I go to Japan, they do that. We go to Europe and they take euros, or we go to England, they take pound sterling, and that's okay. I think that what should be done, it should be voluntary. And we should make life as much as possible. Everything should be voluntary. This seems to comply and go along with that. Gina, what do you think?
Yes, I agree. It definitely equalizes the monetary system. And, what we just saw in Canada, where even people who donated to the truckers campaign, not just the truckers themselves, but people who donated $5, $10. I don't know that for a fact. I can't personally verify it, but this is definitely what I've heard on numerous sources that I trust, that people who donated to the truckers campaign for freedom and liberty, that they had their bank accounts seized, and they have no access to the funds. They have no access to their bank accounts. When governments start doing that to people are going to look for alternatives, and cryptocurrency is a viable alternative. You and I were early adopters. We got in back in 2013, 2012, 2013. I need to look to see exactly when that
I think it
was.
was 2014 when I got in, but still it was a
Yeah.
long time
Oh,
ago,
so
and
I
I
was a
did
little
not
ahead of
buy
you.
enough. Should have bought more.
Exactly. Well, it's been an amazing thing to watch. I was in before when it was, I think my first Bitcoin that I bought was $287, so less than $300. And to watch the ups and downs and the roller coaster, and oh my gosh, this is terrible. And the crypto winter that have gone through, crypto winters, it's been a crazy ride, but I'm so comfortable with it now. I recognize that it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. And over the long term, I think it's going to continue to go up significantly over where it is now, which is right at, I think I saw it today, it's almost at 44,000, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting, and of course, it's very volatile, and it's something that we are not making any recommendation on it. We both have MBAs, but that doesn't mean we can give you financial advice. So you need to get your advice, do your own research, and then get out there and find competent financial advisors that can help you on these areas. But we do make strong educational recommendation, and that educational recommendation is get out there and study what's going on in crypto, Bitcoin. These are really hot, and they're something that you want to know about. You want to be aware of what's happening with it and find out if it's right for you and if it's the thing to do. Well, Gina, do we have a few more comments there from Pomp
We
as he talks
do.
about that announcement from Governor Ron de Santis?
We do. Let's play those.
Let's get those going here, and I'm going to use this. I'm using Restream here, a fabulous tool, by the way. I love Restream to make sure we can get this working just right.
Right, we got a little talking on top of this. So, did you want to repeat what you just said because I was playing the video?
Oh, okay. So we want to make sure that we are doing this in the right way, doing what is legal and what is appropriate thing to do. Well, I see the picture there of Governor Ron de Santis, governor of Florida. Let's hear what he has to say.
Quote here from Governor de Santis, in which he says, I've told the state agencies to figure out ways where if a business wants to pay tax in cryptocurrency to Florida, we should be willing to accept that. And we're working through that. Now, the state of Florida is not the first to try to do this. The state of Ohio, under Treasurer Josh Mandel, already allowed businesses to pay in Bitcoin. But once Mandel left office, the next treasurer came in and they rolled it right back. Something tells me that the state of Florida is serious and they won't be rolling this back. We've got a tweet here from Dan Tapiro where he states, not sure what could be more of a green light for institutions. A U.S. state considering receiving taxes owed in Bitcoin. Remarkable to think that anyone still owns the $200 trillion in cash and bonds with negative real yields. Light bulb moment is coming. I tend to think that Dan's onto something.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that clip, Terry.
Yeah, I think that it's a matter of uh, a big leap forward when we start seeing a state in the United States saying, hey, we will accept this. And other states are leaning toward that. They've looked at legislation doing that in other states like Wyoming and Arizona, and I believe Texas might have. And I think what we've got to look at is this is a trend. You can argue with it if you want, but it's a trend. And we say, well, is it good to go with some money that is based on mathematics, based on something that there's a fixed supply. They can't increase more, unlike central banks where they can say, well, let's just print a few more. Let's just run off a few more trillion. And people are saying, wait a minute. A couple of years ago, they were saying, wait a minute, let's not do it. And by the way, this is not partisan because we saw massive amounts of that under the Trump administration. And we're seeing it now, massive amounts of it under Biden administration. Kind of get the same thing from both parties that way. And you think, wait a minute, maybe they're both wrong in this by just printing more and more money. Is that going to be a problem? And we've had many people step back and go, oh, we're the reserve currency of the world. It'll be okay. Really? How long has that lasted throughout history? It doesn't. And we're seeing right now that Saudi Arabia is looking at using the yuan, the renminbi from China as a way of making payment with oil and receiving payments in yuan renminbi. It could be a real trouble right now coming down. But I think if we look at Bitcoin as something that is going to be there, it's mathematics, not based on the whim of a person. No one controls Bitcoin. No central government controls that. So it's pretty amazing, Gina, I think. It looks like we could do it. What do you see? How do you see this all rolling out, Gina?
Well, I see people getting more comfortable with it. I see the technology getting more user friendly. When you and I first purchased way back when, it was extremely difficult. Like in the early days of people trying to get on the internet, it was something only somebody super smart like a Terry Brock could do to figure out the tech to get on the internet or the tech to buy crypto. It was extremely difficult. But now there are tools such as Coinbase and Edge Wallet, and my personal favorite right now is Celsius. I love the Celsius app for purchasing and holding crypto, and even the hard wallets for cold storage, which are easier to use now. So the technology is really ramped up, and for people to get in there and figure out how to buy crypto, you can transfer money directly from your bank. Some banks, my bank just changed their mind about crypto apps, but so I'm looking for a new bank. But yeah, I know. I
I
know.
did not know that.
Yeah, no, it happens. And then you can buy crypto with credit cards. So it depends on the app and people. I had a friend recently tell me, "Oh my gosh, the fees are so high." Well, on some apps they are high, and on some apps they are low. And again, I'm not giving out an affiliate link for Celsius right now. If you want one, give me a call and let me know, or send me a note and let me know. But Celsius is great because the fees are not terribly high, and it's really easy to buy with bank money or with credit card.
Yeah, I think Celsius is good. That's Celsius, like the way that where they measure temperature versus Fahrenheit, but Celsius gives the ability to put money there, let them hold your crypto, and they pay you interest. So they pay interest far above what you get from a bank. So, and again, we're not making any financial recommendations here, but we are making educational recommendations. Check it out, see what they're doing. They've got some good backing behind it. They are able to make money better in certain ways, and they pass that difference on to those who are entrusting their funds to them, their Bitcoin, their other cryptocurrencies, and doing, I think, a very good job with it. So we're seeing a lot of good there. So I think the whole point is we look at this is say, okay, this is happening in the state of Florida. We happen to be in the state of Florida, but if you're somewhere else, it's a note that is sounding that you ought to listen to and go, hey. If they're doing that in Florida, could they be doing it elsewhere? We see, for instance, the mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez, has agreed to has asked to take his salary in Bitcoin. Amazing. And then I was opening keynote speaker over in Tampa for a big Bitcoin and blockchain summit, the Florida Bitcoin Blockchain Summit. And Mayor Joan Castor of Tampa was speaking there also. And she said at that meeting, she was going to take her salary in Bitcoin as well, because her friend Francis Suarez, the mayor of Miami, was doing it. And then we heard Eric Adams, who at the time was the incoming mayor for New York City, saying that, well, if they're doing it in Florida, we can do it in New York. So it's interesting to see how this is growing now. It's something you definitely want to be aware of and look at what is happening and how you can take advantage of it, whatever you do. Gina, before we let you go, any final thoughts on that and recommendations you would give to those that are joining us right now? If they're saying, I'm scared of this, there's a lot of terms I don't know which way to go, what would you tell that person?
I would tell that person to do your research, investigate, go to the University of YouTube, go to the University of DuckDuckGo, and do your research. Get your questions out. Go to a trusted source to ask your questions. And I'm really thrilled that you and I are embarking on more focused efforts on helping people understand cryptocurrency, as well as to understand NFTs, the power of non-fungible tokens, which is something we're really passionate about because we see that non-fungible tokens are going to change the world, probably, I believe, much in the same way that the internet has changed the world. And in the near term, it will be a common way to pay for events. It will be a common way to pay for membership and subscriptions in online communities, as well as many other things. Many sports teams, the NFL, the NBA, I think the NHL, several of them are already adopting NFTs for collectibles and for tickets and such. So it's going mainstream. It's going to be big, and I'm just glad that we're focused on it. We're going to be sharing updates as we see them. For example, this one that we just shared today, which is big news. A prominent, serious, big state in the United States with a very well-respected governor has said, we're getting on this and we think it's important. It's a signal to the United States. It's a signal to the world, and it's a sign of things to come.
Yes, it is. It's something that is there. And so, as we conclude this, those of you watching this, think about how you can do it. If you haven't been studying cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, we encourage you to go over to the places on the net where you can study that. Go to bitcoin.com is a good place to do it. They show you how you can walk through that, even get some coins if that's right for you. But again, we're not making any financial recommendations. Go over to Cointelegraph. That would be another good place, cointelegraph.com and coindesk.com. Those are just three where you can go and get information on this. And we encourage you to start studying it. It's kind of like years ago, people would hear about this thing called the internet. And we'd say terms like HTTP :// and they'd go, oh, speak English, please. Well, that is English, and we're now using it. And those who understood that and learned the terms early on did very well and are doing well right now. What you want to do is realize, okay, the world is changing. We're seeing some major things happen. The war Russia is perpetrating onto Ukraine right now is changing a lot as well, because the ruble not doing too well. But when they have crypto, they're going to be able to have something they can exchange in the world. In the U.S., some of the senators we've seen have said, "Oh, gee, that's not right that Russia can do it." Well, you can't stop it. It's like they're breathing oxygen too. How are you going to stop that without something draconian? And so I think we've got to look at it's now time to start studying like never before. Have fun and get used to it. Get ready for a lot of good. So, Gina, thank you very much for joining me. Any final words before we leave?
Do your research. This future, you want to be plugged in and join us. We have a Facebook group where we're going to be talking about this. It's called Agorapreneurs, Agorapreneurs with Terry Brock, and you can search for that and find it and join us there. That's a good place for us to continue this discussion. Thanks so
Absolutely.
much.
All right. Well, thank you, Gina, for being with us. And thank you for joining us. Those of you that are joining us here, we appreciate you being with us. And stay tuned as we look at this whole world of cryptocurrencies, non-fungible tokens, crypto and Bitcoin, blockchain. The world is changing. Get the education you need and have fun. I'm Terry Brock. Thanks for joining us today.